was down and out and nothing seemed to come my way. Here I go, this time I let it go. I never listen to what others say. So come and see, no matter what I do, head first into this hurricane. Yes I know, head high, let it go, but it hits me like the pouring rain.
Yo, what is going on, y'all? It is your boy, one PTA, one physical therapist assistant. Another day with the Legends of America, y'all. I swear, this video is for the aspiring healthcare worker, okay? The aspiring healthcare worker. I said this in another video. When you work in healthcare, be prepared to gain pounds, all right? There's always something going on. In these nursing homes and hospitals, always. I walked into Nurses Week. I didn't even know it was Nurses Week. I walk in and there's food and cakes and pies and Dunkin' Donuts and coffee and all kinds of stuff. I tried to avoid all the goodies. But on my way out, one of the girls was like, "Stop, did you get some food?" I'm like, "No, I'm good." "No, take some food home because we're going to throw it all away." So fettuccine, baked ziti, sausages, Texas toast. Is like, yo, you will gain a lot of weight working in healthcare, all right? I don't even want this stuff. I'm going to take it home to one of my kids. You will gain a lot of weight working in healthcare. Just be forewarned, all right? It's hard because you're supposed to be a healthcare worker. I'm supposed to be staying in shape, but putting on weight working in healthcare, man. So just be careful, y'all. Just be careful. Every holiday, cakes and pies and cookies and stuff. And then you got Nurses Week, you got Rehab Week, you got OT month, you got PT month, you got speech therapy month. There's always something going on. And then people's family members just be bringing y'all in goodies. So just be ready. Just be ready. You will gain a lot of weight. But anyway, y'all, hope y'all doing all right today, man. Hope y'all doing good. I had a lady with dementia recently. I'm walking with a lady with dementia. And she sees another lady. Funny stuff. I'll tell y'all just a little funny stuff. Like, they don't be knowing how funny they are. Okay? They have no idea. Lady with dementia, she's walking, she sees another lady. She looks at me, she says, "That lady right there doesn't like me." I'm like, "What?" She said, "You see that lady? She doesn't like me." I said, "How do you know this?" She said, "Well, do you know women?" I said, "Yes, I know a lot of women." She was like, "Well, then you know." That was her only answer. "If you know women, I should know why she doesn't like you." I said, "Okay." And we kept it pushing. We kept on walking. Funny stuff. Now, y'all, lie to you not. I recently witnessed, this is the true story. I witnessed Honey Nut Cheerios bring someone, I'm not going to say back to life. I'm going to say brought someone back from the depths. Do you feel what I'm saying? I've never seen this. Someone was close. Y'all got to remember, I work in nursing homes, so I'm very familiar with the end of life. There was someone who was very, very close to the end of life. Wasn't eating, didn't have an appetite, didn't want to do much, didn't want to do anything. However, they loved Honey Nut Cheerios. The place didn't have Honey Nut Cheerios. So guess what happened? I don't know if it was a family member or a friend. Someone started bringing them in big boxes of Honey Nut Cheerios, like the boxes you see in the cereal aisle. But I tell you, those Cheerios brought this person back. I'm not lying about that. Honey Nut Cheerios is my favorite Cheerios. I've tried them all. The frosted, the oat nut, the strawberry, the banana, the chocolate, maple, cinnamon, vanilla. I've tried them all. There is nothing. There is nothing that can compare to Honey Nut Cheerios. Y'all let me know if y'all like a different type of Cheerios. Ain't nothing topping Honey Nut Cheerios. I even heard it's banned in some countries. In some countries, you can't have Honey Nut Cheerios. I don't care. Those things are good. But anyway, y'all, this video is for the aspiring healthcare worker, okay? I'm going to do a couple of these videos. I got a couple comparisons I need to make from my viewpoint. Let me tell you my viewpoint. Physical therapist assistant working in nursing homes for the past, I think I'm going on 17 years. I've only worked this one setting. However, I have dabbled in other settings. Just a little dabble here and there. I worked acute care hospitals. I've worked home health. I worked a little bit of outpatient. And I choose the nursing home setting, the skilled nursing facility setting, also known as the SNF. I'm going to talk about why I choose the nursing home setting over home health. That is the topic of this video. So if you aspiring therapists out there and you're interested in either one of these types of settings, hear me out. All right. I've tried home health. Let me tell you my experience with home health. The few experiences I've had. Well, first, you're going to work mostly alone. You're going to be driving back and forth to people's homes, doing therapy one-on-one with them, which is cool. However, there's not much of a big team to bounce off of. I mean, you're going to have people that you discuss the patient's, progress and therapy goals and all of that stuff with. Yes, you have nurses, you have other therapists, but for the majority, you're going to be working alone when you see people. So not big camaraderie there. You feel what I'm saying? Yes, you're going to have a team, but you're going to be doing most of the work by yourself. 2, you have to go to people's homes. Now, I live in the state of Delaware, okay? All right. I've worked home health in Delaware and Maryland. Some of the things I've seen in homes, I didn't know could exist in homes. I have been in the homes where the floor is completely gone. Like you look down and you see the dirt of the ground. I have been in homes where there has been police called while I was there working with a patient doing therapy. I've been in homes where family members are arguing and fighting. I've been in the homes where I almost got smoked out because the patient just probably smoked like 10 cigarettes during the time I was there. I'm giving y'all the crazy stuff I've seen, all right? I had this one house I worked at, nice guy. He had livestock. I work in Delaware and Maryland, so I work in some rural areas where people have like animals. And I don't mean cats and dogs. I had one house that I worked at. The young man had some goats. And we wanted to work outside. We wanted to do therapy outside. And his goat kept ramming me. The guy was laughing at me. And I was getting hurt. So I'm giving y'all some of the funny stuff that happens. You got to remember, when you work home health, the environment is uncontrolled. You're at the mercy of the environment. These things happen to me. Also, when you work home health, you also got to take some work home with you, okay? You got to go home and do paperwork. You're not going to be doing paperwork while you're working with a person in their house. You have to go home and do paperwork or stop at a Starbucks or do it in your car. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm giving you some of the cons. Some of the cons I've seen working in home health, all right? Like I told you, one time a police officer was called. It was a domestic dispute, and I was caught in the middle of it. I have had another friend who experienced that as well. I had one patient, I went over their home, and they haven't been out the house in a while, and the neighbor was getting ready to call the police to do a welfare check. But I showed up to the patient's house, and the neighbor was like being, I guess, nosy to the patient, and the patient started cussing him out. It's just a lot. You got to understand, you're going into an uncontrolled environment when you work in home health. All right? You have no control over the environment. I've had some female coworkers talk about some let's just say crazy situations when it comes to working home health. All right? Situations like family members specifically being over there because they were coming to work with grandpa or grandma, and all of a sudden, a grandson or a nephew is just showing up for the appointment. You feel what I'm saying? A little bit of a harassment, because when you work in home health, you have to call the patient to set up the appointments. So I had a female co-worker colleague who the patient gave I don't know if they gave the number, but the patient's grandson got the therapist's number. They were harassing them. They were calling them, trying to hook up with them, that kind of stuff. So these are things you got to think about if you decide to work in home health. You're at the mercy of the environment that you're stepping into, and you don't know what you're stepping into. I had another coworker said she had bed bugs. I'm just giving you some bad stuff. I'm going to get to some good stuff. I had another coworker said she brought bed bugs home from going in and out of people's houses. But bed bugs can happen anywhere, a hotel, a nursing home, a patient's home. But I did have a friend who had bed bugs come home with her after working in someone's house, all right? These are the reasons why I choose not to work home health. I choose not to work home health because there's too many variables. I don't like a lot of variables, all right? These are some of the cons. Some of the pros. What are some pros? Well, home health, you do your own thing. Some people like to work by themselves. You get to work by yourself, one-on-one with the patient. You set up the plan. You know, you have some freedom to roam around. You're going to be going to different houses. So some people might like that setup. I do believe they make a little bit more working home health, but you do have to do a lot more. You might have 9 or 10 patients. You got to go back and forth to people's homes to see them. That sounds like a long day to me. That's a lot. That is a lot. But you can possibly make more money. I have a colleague, a friend who does it, and she has got a company car. So she worked long enough for a company. They gave her a little Nissan Sentra to drive back and forth to work home health. She didn't have to use her own vehicle. So there's another aspect of it. So there are some things, if you're interested in doing that, it might be, a good idea for you. As far as where they send you, that's another thing. Home health. Depending on where you are, depending on the radius, the distance you cover, you could be sent anywhere. You could be sent to a nice neighborhood, or you could be sent to the hood. You feel what I'm saying? I had a friend, another coworker, who, let's just say the company, this was her claim, the company would only send her to the sketchy areas. They had other therapists they would not send to the sketchy areas. You feel what I'm saying? I said, I'm wondering why. Well, she says that because she was of a certain complexion, they would send her to the sketchy areas, and the other therapists who weren't of a certain complexion, they wouldn't send. That was her claim. It's kind of like me. When I go in certain places, when I work certain places, I will get a tough schedule. You feel me? I will get what's called a heavy schedule, meaning heavy people who need a lot of help getting up, people who may need, a little bit of oomph, a little bit of motivation, people who might be a little ornery, whereas other therapists at the place might get, let's say, a lighter schedule. And I understand that. I understand why that is. I'm of a certain stature. I can probably handle or lift a heavier patient if they need more assistance, as opposed to a therapist who is smaller, of a smaller stature. You feel what I'm saying? So I experience that myself, and I don't complain about it. Some therapists do, not me. But that is the thing. All these things you got to take into consideration if you work home health. Like I said, the environment is not controlled. I personally like a controlled environment. That's why I choose to work in skilled nursing facilities, also known as nursing homes. Now let me break down why I prefer the nursing home. Nursing home, controlled environment. Okay? Typically controlled environment. Everybody you need to see is there. Everybody you need to see, you don't have to call them and set up appointments. Everybody you need to see pretty much knows that therapy is coming. Also, in most nursing homes, you don't have timed appointments. You don't have scheduled appointments, meaning I don't have to see this person at 8, this person at 9, this person at 10. We usually get our schedules and we go do our thing. We go see our patients in the way we see fit. We make our own schedule. Home health is different. Your patients have specific times that you have to be there. That means you have to be really good with time management. Not to say you don't have to be in a nursing home, but you kind of make up your own schedule as you go. Another thing about nursing homes, me and a speech therapist was talking about this today. She says her husband is always asking her what time she got to be to work. Her husband, she's a newlywed, so her husband is getting used to her work schedule. Her husband sometimes asks her what time does she have to be to work. And she always say, what do you mean? I go to work whenever I want to. That's what you can do in a nursing home setting, in most nursing home settings, like me. Most of the places I work at, I go in whenever I want. As long as I see my people and do my work, it doesn't matter what time I quote unquote clock in. It's not the case if you work in home health. Home health, your patients are going to be expecting you at a specific time. Okay? So your day has to start at a specific time and you have to end it at a specific time. You feel what I'm saying? Not the case with a nursing home. I clock in whenever I want and I make up my schedule as I go throughout the day. There's a little bit more freedom and flexibility when I work in a nursing home as opposed to home health. You feel what I'm saying? So those are some of my pros and cons of working in home health versus working in a skilled nursing facility, also known as a nursing home. Another thing about nursing homes, if a patient, let's say a patient is not feeling well or doesn't want to do therapy that day or is left out the building, went to a doctor's appointment, well, the nursing home has hundreds of people in it. I can just see someone else if they're available. You know, I don't have to, I miss this person, can't see them, my day is short. If you work home health, that's different. You have a schedule of 10 people, but what if 2 people decide to go out for crab cakes and they miss their therapy session? Well, now your day has gotten shorter. You feel what I'm saying? You might not have an extra option to go see. It's not the case when you work in a nursing home. There's so many options. It's more flexibility. It's a little bit more free-flowing. I love it. Some people don't like it. Some people love the home health setting. I have a few coworkers who love the home health setting. I got one former coworker colleague. She was a director of rehab. She was a supervisor of a rehab department. She had to deal with all of the stuff from corporate. She had to deal with the nursing staff. She had to deal with us therapists and all our issues. She had to deal with a lot of paperwork, a lot of stuff. And then she dropped down to home health. So she went from doing all of that. Now she's doing home health and she absolutely loves it. It's just her and her patients. She has her free time in her car. She loves it better. Me personally, I tried it. I wasn't a fan of it. I prefer the nursing home setting. So this, like I said, this video is for the aspiring healthcare worker, and this can apply to, other professions like nurses and doctors or whatever, CNAs, respiratory therapists. This can apply to a range of healthcare workers. There's so many different settings. That's the wonderful thing about working in healthcare. There's so many different settings. All right? So many different settings. So shout out to the aspiring therapist. Shout out to the aspiring therapist assistant. The aspiring healthcare worker. This is just a little taste of the differences between working in home health and working in a skilled nursing facility. So I hope you learned something. Feel free to ask any questions. I'll try to get back to you. But that is why I prefer the nursing home setting. Those are my people. I rocks with them. I go throughout the nursing home. I just say what's up to all my people. I have nice little conversations. All of my people are concentrated in one area, one building. I ain't got to run around God's creation dealing with these crazy gas prices and these crazy people on the road, all these distracted drivers. I only got to do that when I go to and from work. And my view is beautiful going home. About to show y'all this beautiful view in a second. But anyway, y'all, as always, it's your boy, One Physical Therapist Assistant. Feel free to drop any questions you got about the healthcare setting, which I'm going to probably compare nursing homes versus outpatient next. That was another setting that I wasn't feeling. But I'm going to discuss that in another video. Nursing home setting versus outpatient setting. But in the meantime, in between time, y'all be cool, be safe. Make sure you respect your elders, man. Respect them. Help people whenever you get a chance. And I will holler at y'all in the next video.
So part of me, I was down and out and nothing come my way. Here I go, this time I let it go. I never listen to what others say. So come and see, no matter what I do, head first into this hurricane. Yes, I know, head high, let it go, but it hits me like the pouring rain. Oh, can't seem to fight this feeling, no matter what you call it. I only know that I got it bad. Whoa, can't stop it if I want it, no matter what you call it. I only know that I got it good. Was all